I think that's so key that you chose something that was profitable and practical and that there is a need for.
Yeah.
Because look how passionate you are about your ministry and you have a very big purpose on this world, but you didn't try to really channel that directly into freelance copywriting. And I try to communicate that out to the world, but unfortunately it always comes across like don't choose your passion. But I do believe if you go a little bit of a different route and look at what's needed versus what you
So
maybe feel like doing, that you can see such quick results because you're
true.
serving such a specific demographic.
Exactly. So I think that the more specific and you can get, the more success you will have. So, if you think about, okay, you want to write about health, you really need to hone it down into one type of client. So for me, it's businesses that sell to dentists. And so when I was trying to look up other copywriters who might be doing the same, I literally only found one or two. And so I thought like, oh, well, maybe that's not a good thing because maybe there's not a need for it. But no, there are so many companies I found and a lot of startups that they want to sell to dentists and they want to sell the products. And so I'm like, this is perfect because there's really no other person who's specific in this one area. And so when I reach out to these clients, they're like, oh, what? You write specifically for companies like ours? Like, of course, we want to have you. So the further, like the more detailed you can get, the better.
Yeah, that's so key. And that's the whole purpose of finding a specialty is so that that resonance happens where a client is like, wait, you do what I do. People really don't
Exactly.
understand how powerful that is. But I would just say to anyone listening who is concerned about niching, like think of your exact problem, the problems you have in your life where you're like, I just don't think anyone else is going to understand this. And then all of a sudden you have someone coming to you being like, actually, I cater to that exact
Right.
problem. How excited would you be to just throw money at someone who
Yeah.
specializes in that, has that information? Because even just thinking about it from a business perspective, the business saves so much time and energy by giving that work to you versus having to train another writer on their industry.
That's so true. Yeah, I think really the only reason I have been getting like no's from cold pitching has been because right now they don't need content, but it's not. Actually, I was on a call the other day with a client and I asked him if he'd worked with freelancers before and what he liked and didn't like. And he said what he didn't like was they were generalized freelancers. And so when they would write, you could kind of tell that they didn't have the specific knowledge for the industry. And so I just wrote the first draft of my first project for them and he just kept reiterating like how impressed he was. And I think it has to do with like me just focusing in on this one industry.
I love that, and I can't emphasize that enough. You know writing that's done by someone who has industry expertise from someone who does not, and it is very obvious. I'm saying this as from my own experience because I just recently sent out an inquiry for writers. I got hundreds and hundreds of emails, and there was probably 2 writers who actually had portfolio pieces that proved to me, oh, they know what they're talking about. Any client can look at that writing and tell instantly. And I don't say that to intimidate anyone because everyone is capable of that if they do the work to choose the niche, but a lot of people even struggle with that concept.
Right. When you reach out to clients, you want to make it as easy for them as possible to kind of envision how you would work for them. So if you're sending them a portfolio with, all these different topics and industries, they can't see like how would that relate to the work that we would need.
Now, if you're watching this, you're probably interested in becoming a freelance copywriter, but you don't know where to start. I recommend this video here, which is making your first $1,000 as a writer. I lay out the steps, and this video might be my most viewed video, so I think it's resonating with people. Give it a watch, comment down below, and tell me what you think of it, but it should give you more clarity about how to get started on this journey. Hope it helps.